All right, good afternoon. We're here to give an update today about the accident this morning on New Park Avenue in West Hartford. This vehicle that was involved initially came to our attention Sunday morning for multiple reports of car break-ins and catalytic converter thefts. Those were occurring in the north end of our city, in the city of Hartford. While officers were out there canvassing that vehicle, we had a shot spotter activation on Addison Street. We responded to that location where we located a victim with a gunshot wound, a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. It was determined that he was a victim of a car break. He attempted to approach the car breakers, and he was shot for it. So we immediately began an investigation. The Major Crimes Division, Crime Scene Division also responded. Through the help of our C4 division, we were able to identify that vehicle, the make, model, and plate. We immediately put out a wanted flyer for area units as well as surrounding towns. Since then, we believe that vehicle was involved in many other car breaks as well as other incidents in the city. This morning, just about 6 o'clock a.m., one of our officers did spot that vehicle. He notified dispatch. He attempted to stop the vehicle. The vehicle did not stop, and it fled from the police. The officer was able to let dispatch know his location and the vehicle description, at which time the vehicle entered West Hartford. With the assistance of West Hartford PD, who assisted us in trying to stop the vehicle did end up crashing at the intersection of Darcy Street and New Park Avenue. So as at this point goes, there were 3 individuals in the vehicle. All 3 were transported to area hospitals for treatment. They are all in stable condition, so no life-threatening injuries. West Hartford is investigating the accident portion of it. The Hartford Police Major Crimes Division and the Crime Scene Division will be investigating the vehicle itself. We're taking custody for search warrant. I can tell you that there was a stolen firearm located inside the vehicle at this point. I'm not going to be releasing the names of the individuals involved until they're formally charged. I can tell you that they are adults. Questions for me?
What about that car? Was it stolen?
Car was not stolen.
No.
Car was not stolen, no. Or not reported stolen, at least.
How fast were they traveling at that top speed?
I mean, we'll have to review the tapes, but from my understanding, they're moving pretty good.
You know, if the gun that was found in the car matches the kind of...
Well, obviously, we have a starting point. That's going to be part of our investigation. We're going to do ballistics, things like that to determine that. But we have a belief that it is.
Is it a handgun?
Correct.
How widespread were these thefts in surrounding towns?
We have Hartford, obviously. We have West Hartford. I believe we have Newington. I think we had an incident on the Berlin Turnpike all within the last few days. So it was a mini crime spree where at least one person was shot. So dangerous situation, dangerous individuals. Nobody else was injured during the pursuit other than the 3 individuals inside the vehicle. No third-party citizens and no police officers.
Do we believe all 3 people in the vehicle today were connected with the shooting and the theft?
We know the vehicle was, so this is where our investigation starts. That's part of the challenges. That's why we haven't formally charged anybody yet. So we'll get to that. We have to do interviews. Obviously, we have witnesses and victims out in the street from previous incidents that we'll have to be talking to as well.
The car belonged to one of the 3 occupants?
I don't believe it did, no.
How did they make it out of the fiery vehicle?
I believe 2 of them came out on their own steam. From watching the body cam that I did see, officers on scene were ordering them on the ground. The 3rd one, I'm not sure. Again, we'll be reviewing body cam to see exactly how they came out of the car.
And within Hartford, have any other neighborhoods recently been hit with these incidents?
Again, we've had several rashes of these incidents, so now it's the task of identifying if they were involved in every single one of them or which ones they were involved in. And the way we do that is by checking cameras, neighborhood cameras, going out and doing canvasses, which the officers and detectives will be doing.
Can you remember any time where these kinds of things were happening in the daytime? I mean, we've seen shootings in the day, but not necessarily a bunch of car break-ins right in the morning.
It happens. It's not the first time it happens, but it's rare. Usually they happen overnight.
Can you speak on the differing policies when it comes to pursuits between Hartford, West Hartford, what that trade-off looks like?
So there's a statewide pursuit policy that mandates all police pursuits in the state of Connecticut, and we're all usually tied to that. When a pursuit is initiated in one town and goes to the next town, usually the first thing you do is you notify that town that we're coming into your town which did happen. A lot of times it'll be up to that town whether or not they're going to take the lead in that pursuit. Again, but when I say pursuit, this was very short. I mean, it was just enough time for the officer to notify dispatch of his location and try to get some help out there. So it wasn't a multi-town, or I think the whole thing lasted probably less than a minute.
The video that West Hartford police released, the dash cam video, shows moments after that crash. After that, it kind of cuts off toward the end. What happened beyond that? I mean, the officers, I think, told them to put their hands up, or.
For the record, Captain Eric Rushlow, ERIC-ROCHELEAU, West Hartford, PIO. So in reference to what you're talking about, the dash does cut off right about there. And what you'll see after that is officers getting out. They're looking out for their own safety. There's wires down. The car's on fire. They're probably looking at a second vehicle involved. Not sure if that one's innocent victims inside. So we're looking to, kind of make the scene safe, but also render aid. So, and make sure that the officers are safe too. Keep in mind, we had the broadcast from Hartford. We know that this is a dangerous vehicle, dangerous people inside, driving recklessly to elude police capture. We're well aware that they're probably armed. We know that they've shot at other people. So those are some of our concerns as we're going up to render aid. But our ultimate goal is to make sure with such a high-speed crash that people are safe and that people are getting the proper medical care. So you will see officers helping people out, ordering them to the ground, taking them into custody, and then calling for medical aid for them to make sure, because some of them did suffer some injuries, some apparent and obvious injuries on scene with such a high-speed crash.
And at that point, they weren't looking to take off on foot or anything like that afterward?
No, this is one of those crashes where, due to the speed and everything that they hit, like the lieutenant said here, that car went airborne and did significant damage to the side of a house. There were windows on the second floor of that house that were blown out and broken. There are parts, car parts, that are imprinted on the side of that house. So we're very lucky that no one else was involved. And this is the problem where, why or how, what happens when cars speed away from the police at high speeds. And they were going a pretty high speed. If you watch the video, you'll see that the officer from West Hartford stopped in the middle lane. He saw them coming at him. He had nowhere to go. He braced for impact. He tried to quickly put his seatbelt on, and luckily they went by him, and you can see it was a pretty high speed.
Were people in the home at the time?
I can't say for sure. I don't know.
And the occupants, I know you said they're adults. Can you give their ages?
I believe one was 19, one was 20, and one was 23, thereabouts. So young adults, but adults for sure.
Maybe part of your investigation would be see if they've got any previous history of crimes like this, taking off in vehicles, in pursuits, maybe as teens, a few years ago.
Certainly, yeah.
Are any of them people that you questioned or considered suspects this summer or spring in any of the other shootings we've seen?
I'll get into that once I release their identities, right? So I'll have a full workup for you.
Are they all from Hartford?
I'll get into that when I release their identities.
What's the message for folks that are willing to run from police, crash a vehicle, and put other people's lives in harm? What's the message for them tonight?
Well, I mean, we don't want to do it. We don't want to engage in pursuit. I mean, we had it's become something that's becoming common. People are fleeing from the police, and we had a detail not too long ago where I think 40% of the cars stopped fled from police. So we do have a pursuit policy, unfortunately, that prohibits us from chasing unless it's a violent crime and the public's at risk. Certainly in this case, I would make the argument that we had a violent crime and the public was at risk. Again, it puts everybody in danger. If you flee from the police and you hurt an innocent victim, it's going to be charges for you. Some people get lucky and they don't always do. It's a very dangerous situation.